Nelly revealed he married Ashanti quickly to avoid the baby mama label, wanting to solidify their family before life got too hectic. Welcome back, it's your host Nancy Brown. If you are new here, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. In order to avoid being called a baby mama, Nelly disclosed that he hurried to wed Ashanti. The hot and hair rapper gave the audience an insight into their renewed relationship by talking candidly about their nuptials during an interview on the Bootleg Kev podcast. After learning that Ashanti was carrying their child, Nelly opened up about his choice to get married right away, saying he wanted to establish their family status before life became too busy.
Once we found out that she was pregnant, it was just like, I didn't want this to be, I don't want to say like
a child out of wedlock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about any of that yet. I hadn't, but I was like, you know what? Let's just knock this out because we're going to be doing so much and everything's moving so fast. And I didn't want to, I didn't want her to be, a baby mama.
The pair kept their wedding out of the public eye by exchanging vows in a low-key ceremony in St. Louis County, Missouri. In December 2023, they originally met at a Grammy Awards press event in 2003, which marked the beginning of their love journey 20 years prior. After 10 years of breakups and makeup changes, their relationship quickly established itself as a mainstay in the hip-hop community before ending in 2013.
Jermaine Dupri or Timbaland? JD.
Nelly kicks off the new season of the Drink Champs podcast with a viral moment. In the much-discussed dispute between performers Sean Diddy Combs and Jermaine Dupri, the iconic rap artist took a side.
Love Tim, and JD, sniper.
It was Noor that started the conversation. He asked the hot and hair hitmaker which of super producer Timbaland and JD he would choose. Nelly took Jermaine Dupri's side.
Him and Puff do verses. Puff is gonna get murdered. Easy.
I love
Puff is smart. He didn't want no parts of JD. He knew that.
The award-winning catalog and JD's friendship with Nelly led to Nelly now that Diddy would be murdered if they did a versus competition.
Why you think he wanted to hold verses in New York? JD can hold verses anywhere. You do realize when you're talking about JD, you talking.
I'm not taking nothing away from JD.
You talking about going all the way back to Criss Cross. What Diddy didn't do though?
Mr. Hayes recognized Jermaine Dupri as family. Throughout their careers, Nelly, Jermaine Dupri, and Diddy have come into contact with one another, influencing hip-hop and R&B in distinct ways while occasionally combining their business and musical endeavors. Southern hip-hop and R&B gained popularity in the 1990s and 2000s thanks in large part to producer and label executive Jermaine Dupri. Usher, Bow Wow, and Xscape were among the musicians he launched with So So Def. Working with well-known singers like Nelly, his influence went beyond his label. For the most part, their history is one of respect for one another, sporadic collaborations, and hip-hop influence. Music, fashion, and cultural movements frequently brought them together. Nelly, a rapper from St. Louis with a distinctive melodic flow, rose to fame in the early 2000s. Country Grammar, his debut album, became a global sensation. Nelly and Dupri collaborated over the years, most famously on Stepped on My J's, a shoe anthem with Kira that Dupri produced. Their love of fusing R&B and hip-hop was the foundation of their largely professional partnership. In the 1990s, Diddy, a music entrepreneur best known for Bad Boy Records, established his empire by creating successes for artists such as Mace and Notorious Big. His influence was felt in television, spirits, and fashion. Despite never having a close working relationship, Nelly and Diddy often passed through the same industry circles. Diddy is still facing accusations and litigation, since he was just the subject of another sexual assault case. This one is based on a horrific story from 2006, as recounted by Jane Doe, a Pennsylvania native who claims to have been in her 20s at the time of the alleged encounter. Jane remembers traveling to Manhattan with her sister to see a cousin, and while there, she and her companion traveled to the 4040 Club, a popular hangout for Jay-Z by chance. Diddy was going there the same evening as Jane and her family. She says the founder of Bad Boy Records entered with his group. Sean Diddy Combs allegedly purchased beverages for her, her sister, and her cousin later in the evening. According to Jane Doe, he gave them shots of tequila, champagne, and even his own vodka, Ciroc. Things started to change at that point because, according to Doe, she started feeling confused shortly after having 2 drinks. She tried to get back on her feet by going into the bathroom as a result. Jane says she heard the restroom door open only a few seconds after she stepped into a stall. She didn't give it much thought, of course. But then, according to her, Diddy swung open the stall door. He was purportedly standing in front of her with his genitalia exposed, and fear and astonishment rapidly took hold. The rapper then allegedly approached her and violently grabbed her neck with one hand while stroking her breasts with the other and forcing her head toward his groin. She says she attempted yelling for assistance, but her cries were muffled by the loud music. The lawsuit claims that Diddy became enraged by this. He allegedly said to her, "I'm Puff Daddy, I get what I want, I have the keys to the city, and I know you want it." As the situation apparently reached terrifying proportions, fortunately, someone entered the bathroom. Jane seized the chance to escape and left the establishment right away. Naturally, this is only one of Diddy's several concerning accusations, and the trial will probably drag on for a long time. In connection with that, his will start on May 5, 2025.